like live.
Yeah. Shir sponsor Luinish Basayim Yaakov Shalom Leah Basitzchok. We're holding Bavakamo Daf Samechtes. We're starting in the two dots in the fourth line. It says the Magufo Ma'abirchon. Going back to what the Birchon said, what we saw in the previous daf. Because of someone stole an item and the owner was not Misyash. They both cannot be Magdish. Why? Meaning, you have to have, in order to be Magdish, according to this understanding, you have to have both, not only ownership, but also possession. So if you're owning it, but it's not in your possession, it's not b'shusay, or you're in possession, but you don't own it, you can't do Hegdish. It has to be both. So the Birchon say that. His locha is like Stam Mishnah. But nan, Keri Mevai, it says in the Mishnah, Keri Mevai, which means that, what's a Keri Mevai? Fruits that grow in the field for 3 years, they're orla. In the 4th year, they become Keri Mevai. What is the din of Keri Mevai? Keri Mevai is fruits that you need to bring to Yerushalayim. It's not, or orally not allowed to enjoy. But here you could enjoy it, just you need to be paid it. You have to either redeem it on money, bring the money to Yerushalayim, or bring the actual fruit to Yerushalayim. They went in and how do they go and put a sign for people to know this is Keren Mevai? It would be Kazuz Adam. What's Kazuz Adam? Kazuz Adam is the like pieces of mud to show everybody that this is a Keren Mevai. Why that was the sign for Keren Mevai? Simonu ki Adama. It's similar like Adama. Ma Adama yika no mine. Avainami ki mifrika shor lister mine. So it's the same way Adama you can enjoy. Are you allowed to enjoy mud? Yeah, you're allowed to enjoy mud. So you also can enjoy this once you redeem it. Veshel Orla. The first 3 years of a tree, how do they make a sign for it? Becharosis. With clay. Simonu ki charosis. Bring a simon like charos. Ma charosis shein no mino. I lace by no means. This piece of clay that you can't really use for anything. Once it's broken. Like we know, usually that's the way we treat charis. So these pieces have no you have nothing to do with it. You want to show that the orlo you cannot enjoy it. Therefore, you had a sim. How do you make a sign for graves? Beseed. Seed is white plaster. Simono the chiver katsomos. You want to say that it's white like the bones that are white. And you go and you spread it out, right? I mean, you put water in it, and then you spread it all around. The way you put the water is to make it more white, to make it look more like the bones, right? So you have different simonim for nitarivai, for kilaim, for arlo, and for ikvaris. It's a time of Efker. So everybody can take the fruits. So I have to tell the people you should be careful. The fruits that you want to take, you should know this is Arlo. You should know these fruits are Keren Mevai. You should know that you have a problem with a cave. But in other years that they're not supposed to take the fruits, this guy wants to do an Aveira, let him do an Aveira. I'm not going to stop you. What are you doing here? You're a Ganav. You're going to do now an Aveira. I'm not going to prevent you from doing a bigger Aveira. In other words, from telling you this Keren Mevai, you have to break it. You should just steal it. You're stealing it, it's your fault. This, by the way, is a very interesting discussion. We'll please speak about a little bit in the Shom Machshava. Ruben Margolius says on it a piece. When do you say that you want to try to avoid somebody from doing Aveiros? Right? You want to be Mazakir for somebody to not do an Aveira. And when do you say Al-Teol Rosh Hashanah? Person is doing an Aveira. You say, oh, this guy is doing Aveira. Al-Teol Rosh Hashanah, go do more. Or you say, no, let's try to save a Yid for doing an Aveira. We try our best to save a Yid. We found the Gemara, Goran Shabbos, for example. That you say that Nichale to make a Lula Aveiros, his friend, the Amar, should now do a big Aveira. So when do we say we want to save someone doing Aveira right now? One simple way to say it is, when a guy is doing an Aveira that is intentionally doing it right now, with the same action, so then you say just go till then. He's right now stealing fruits. You say, yeah, but he has another view with the fruits. You shouldn't start with that action. But if you talk about two different things, between one thing because Leah's coming, so then maybe you stop him. But there's much more. That's the discussion on when do you say these rules. Now, another ayah here is a beautiful ayah from the Shabini Rov. The story goes, I saw that it's brought down on the places. The Rosh Zaman Orbach was sitting in I think it was in Sukkot. People talk about it. Say today the Achronim, it's not the same thing like the previous generations. They're not the same level of learning. So Rosh Zaman, what are you talking about? He said the Shabini Rov, he was a great Oilam. I'll tell you a story about him. What's the story? So talk about this. There was a discussion in Shulchan Aruch. Are you allowed to do Birkas Hayulanos? Birkas Hayulanos, right? You go around, you see a tree on Chodesh Nisan that's blossoming. You have to do Birkas Hayulanos. Can you do Birkas Hayulanos on Arla? The first 3 years of the tree, can you do Birkas Hayulanos or not? It's a discussion. You can bring the suffix regarding that. Says the Shabini Rav, I have a raya that you do make a bracha on Birkas Hayulanos on Arla. What's the raya? From our Gemara. That's like a goyiness to connect this Gemara. Because the Gemara here says that they used to put signs for Arla. Says the Shimon Gamliel, why you put signs for Arla? The guy's a Ganav. It's only in Shemitah. I'll tell you why you put signs in Arla. Not for a Ganav. The signs in Arla tell you don't do Birkas Hayulanos. That's why I have to announce it, to tell everybody to know. These are the first 3 years of the tree. You cannot do Birkas Hayulanos. That's the reason you have a sign. You see from here that even if it's Arla, you can still do Birkas Hayulanos. That's what Shabini Rov to be arrived from here. And there's what to discuss about that as well, with the hair of the Shabini Rov. Continues the Gemara and says, this is the Gemara that we saw also yesterday. What's the solution over here? And now the Gemara, we mentioned it in yesterday's daf, but now the Gemara is going to go into this and we're going to focus. This is really going to be the focus here. What did Tznuim do? The Tznuim, as Rashi called, what was it Tznuim? Rashi says in the previous Amud, that what is it Tznuim? Bnei Adam Chasidim, sheroitzim l'salik yedei kol adam min ha'aveira. Meaning they're not agreeing to do a literu l'rosh havayos. They don't want people to do averis. So what do? They went, they put money aside, and they said, any person who is going to take these fruits, I'm redeeming the fruits with this money. So the guys now even have Aveira for taking it. So that's why they put money aside, or even they said, anything that we picked up today, will be mechul on these mois. So that's the Bryce. I think we're going to go to focus on it as we go now. But what is the more bigger right? The same right we brought yesterday. And yesterday's that. Where it says, it says, I cannot be magdish, something which is not in my possession. You see over here, the Tznuim were mechalil, they do chilul on the fruits, even though it's not in my possession. That was the same right yesterday. As we mentioned yesterday's that, Tosis asks, maybe chilul is different than egdish. Tosis concludes that no, we don't say there's a difference. So what do we have over here? We have over here chilul, we have over here you're redeeming the fruits, and you have over here, and you're saying you can do it even though it's not in your possession. Says the more Mantana Tznuim Rishum Gamliel. Maybe you tell me that the Tznuim is Rishum Gamliel. As we saw, the Bryce says Rishum Gamliel talking. The Baran takes away the next sentence. Every time Rishum Gamliel spoke, Allah says always Allah Rishum Gamliel. Except the 3 cases of these are 3 mishnayos that we don't pass Rishum Gamliel. So here by us, you have Rishum Gamliel. So Rishon says otherwise. Rishon says you cannot be magdish. Why is that possible Rishum Gamliel that says you could do, even inside your possession? Says the Amri, loy teimo kol anilkut mizeh, eleimo kol mislaket mizeh. So it's interesting. More yesterday's daf, brought the Kedor Pasha that Tznuim argued. Who do Amar get Tznuim? The Gemara said yesterday. Now the Gemara is trying to answer. The Gemara yesterday was like a Kedor Pasha that you could do it b'rishus somebody else, and that's what the Gemara wanted to say that you could do it. In other words, he learns that we're talking about that Tznuim arguing. Well, how is Rabbi Yochanan going to explain it? He's going to explain not that he says whatever will be collected, I will redeem once it's collected. Talk about before it was collected. I'm saying that whatever is here right now, that eventually will be picked up, it's right away redeemed. Says the Gemara, how can you explain that's the pshat by the Rebbe Yochanan and the story of Tznuim? Rebbe Yochanan himself said that Tznuim agree with Abdoisa. What's Abdoisa? Abdoisa Milka Kolam. They speak about something that was already picked up. How do we know that? The Tanya. We know Shachris. This is talking about they're talking about Peyo. Peyo, we have you have over here the fruit that they put aside for Peyo. And he says, and Rashi explains over there regarding Peyo, we're talking about leket, specifically leket, which is one of Mataros Anim. The difference by leket is when you have two kernels that fall, so that the Ani can take it. 3 he can't. So the problem is that Ani, not all Ani know the halacha. They go in the field, they see wheat, they pick it up. They don't know there's something that they can't pick up. So how do you do a solution? Because any Mandasanim is part of a Meiser. You don't have to do Meiser for Mandasanim. But something that's not Mandasanim, something really belongs to the owner. So what do you do? So Gemara says, in the morning the Rabbi stands up, whatever the Ani will pick up will be after, that's how you say they can take it, that's the Rachav and Meiser. They say, no, you don't do it in the morning. After the end of the evening, he says, right? So what happens? If you says you do it in advance, he says whatever will be picked up, it's already after. And Abdai says, no, it's only after the fact. After they took it up, he said whatever they took. So what do you see? Abdai, so what is he saying? That after they picked it up, you make it after. Said Rabbi Yochanan, Tznuim is the same like Abdai. So you see that he understands that Tznuim means after you pick it up, you're mafkir. After you pick it, so you're mechal. That means even something which is not in your possession, you're able to change its ownership. Says the Gemara, so you're right, you have to switch it around. You have to say Abdois is the one who says they do in the morning, and Abiyudah is the one who says they do in the evening. Says the Gemara, why are you turning around the Braiso? Just said that Abiyudah made a mistake. What is the problem? You wanted to say that according to Rabbi Yochanan has explained that Snuim is not talking about before they picked it up, which means it's not in your possession. We're talking after they picked it up. Not after they picked it up, which is not in your possession. We're talking before they picked it up. We can't say that. Why can't we say that? Because Rabbi Yochanan said that he holds like Abdaisu. And Abdaisu clearly said we're doing it after you pick it up. So okay, you're right. Abdaisu said before, Rabbi Yochanan is the one who said after. So why change Abdaisu Abiyudah? Maybe just change Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said, now that Snuim all hold like Abdaisu, Snuim all hold like Abiyudah. So the Gemara, you can't not turn it around. It's clearly the girsa that we have in this Bryce was a mistake. Why not? It's always a mistake, so you have to turn around the Bryce. According to this, if you are able to do it before the fact, how can you do it before the fact? How do you know what will be after? You're saying whatever the animal will pick up today, that will be after. How do you know who's going to pick up? That's called Breiro. Once he picks it up, retroactively I find out that this is what I was mafkir to begin with. So if you're saying you do it before they picked it up, it means you have to hold Breiro. If you say after, it means you don't hold Breiro. So that's why only after you picked it up, then you're doing it. So Rabbi Yehuda, according to this Bryce, is saying that you do it before. That means he holds Breiro. That doesn't work because Rabbi Yehuda, we know does not hold Breiro. How do we know? That nine, it says in the Mishnah. And here comes, they actually say it's the Bryso. But here comes a Bryce who sounds very, very familiar to us because we learned this Bryce in Masechet Sukkah, in Masechet Yuma, in Masechet Eruvin, and Masechet Gittin already from the beginning of this cycle, except for the fact that it appears in other places as well. So we have here, it's a very, very familiar Gemara. What is this, the Bryce? Someone takes wine from the Kusim, which we choshet them for not doing Maisris, Truma Maisis, Oimer, he says, Shtei Lukushani or Silafish. We're talking about He's taking your 100 lug. So 100 lug, what is the shear of truma? Truma is always 2%. So he takes 100, he gives out what? 2. Shein lug b'shari until afri sharein truma. That's truma. Asora ma'asarishin. How much is ma'asarishin? 10%. So you have to do 10%. Taisus and Gittin points out, 1 second, it should be less than 10%, it should be 9.8, because you already took out 2%. So Taisus either lav davka, or no, because truma minat Torah, you don't have to give 2%. It's only midirabbanan that you give 2%. Minat Torah chito achas p'teres hakero, even the smallest amount. So you can disadvantage the Levi by you being machmir midirabbanan. So Levi continues being 10%. So you give 10 to the Levi. Then you have left with 90. You give 9 of it, 10% of that, Ma'aser Sheni. What's Ma'aser Sheni? That's the second Ma'aser. You have to go and do what? You have to be mafresh the Ma'aser Sheni and put it into, and you have to take it to Yerushalayim or redeem it like we said by Netar Revai. Umeichel v'shoysim yihad b'Rabbi Meir. Meichel, Rashi Teis argue throughout Shas. What does Meichel mean? Is the Meichel mean that he's mechalel it, meaning he's mechalel it on money right away, or is Meichel he starts? Okay, that will get to us. According to the Meir, you're good to go. You can eat it even though the wine is still in the barrel. All he said was he took a barrel of wine and he said, "When I'm going to be mafresh in the future, I will make this truma, and when I'll be mafresh, 10 will be meiser. It will be in the future. He didn't do it yet, but that's good enough. I didn't do it yet." That is called the classic case of Breiro. Why is Breiro? Once I take it out, retroactively, this was the true and meiser for the beginning. Rabbi Shimon, oh no, you can't do it. So what's the right? The simple understanding of the Gemara and all the Masechtas that we mentioned at the beginning of the Gemara is that the Gemara understands that they hold in Breiro. So I cannot go and take a barrel and say I will take out true and meiser. You didn't take it out yet. Can't say afterwards retroactively I'll find out what it is. So you hold it in Breiro. So if so, Rabbi Yehuda tells us over here that after the day, before the day starts, I say whatever will come out will be b'chulol, will be hefker. You don't know what's going to come out. Breiro doesn't hold Breiro. So you have to say it's a mistake. The Yehuda says you do it only after the fact. Rabbi Yehuda is the one who says you do it before the fact. So the Muhammad says if you might have to let me see. So go back. So why do we turn it around? Because you have a problem with the Abuda, that he holds in Breiro and he holds Yesh Breiro. You also have Yostir and B'Yechanon. What did we more answer before? The B'Yechanon says you cannot do it in the hands of somebody else. So you must say you're doing it before the fact. So if you're doing it before the fact, what is that? That is Breiro. So you hold the Breiro, you can do Breiro. Almi is the Breiro. Rabbi Yechanon is the Breiro. Yechanon holds no Breiro. As we learned there, Maseches Gittin, in the end of the Perek Revi. When brothers divide their estate, you don't say the Mizbaril and Mafrei, you do retroactive, find out each one of them got the chelik that he deserves. But you say that they are lekuchos, they are as if they buy from each other. They return to each other in the Yovel. Meaning there's no Breiro. It's considered to be buyers. So I can't say, according to Rabbi Yechanan, that you do it before the fact. So Rabbi Yechanan says that after the fact. So now, how can you do after the fact? It's not your possession. So you do it after the fact. Whatever was done already, then you make it true. Rabbi Yechanan say otherwise. So the more this goes back to what we saw yesterday's daf. He says, yes, you're right, the Tznuim are arguing. So why is the Rabbi Yechanan going like that? I'm sure Rabbi goes with the Tznuim. Says the Gemara, he found another Mishnah which is Stama, not like Rabbi Yechanan. The not ain't a goyim, which our Mishnah. Ain't a goyim, you have a thief, and another thief comes and takes, there's a pay double. Am I usually going to Rishon Shai not paying the first Ganov? If you're good to be base Ganov, especially because you steal from the person, not from the guy. To the original owner, Nishalim, pay. By not paying to the original owner. Says the Gemara, you know what you see from here? Means you don't pay the original owner. It's not his possession. It's in the possession of the Ganav. So there's no kefil to that person. So that's a raya that something's not your possession. You're not considered to be the owner, the rightful owner. So that's why you can't do in that case chilul. You can't do after. Hi, the Tznuim said otherwise. The Tznuim argue. Why do we pass it that way? I have another stomach. I have a stomach and a stomach. You pass it like one way. So says the Gemara, 1 second. My chazis does the basai stomach. They have the kai stomach the Tznuim. So why do you pick and choose? Why do you decide to paskin like the our Mishnah, not like the Tznuim that say that you can do it? So the moment should say because the pasuk does sound like this. Ish ki yagdish is based so kodesh la Hashem. Person is magdish his house. My base of b'shusav kol b'shusav. The house is in your possession. So everything else we talk about selling your possession, and that is what the word concludes. What is the word saying? And Echanami. Rabbi Yochanan is the one who said you cannot do something which is not in your possession. The Tznuim say you could do something not in your possession. That's the only way to understand the Tznuim, according to Rabbi Yochanan. Because it can't be do before, because it ain't brave, according to Rabbi Yochanan. So Rabbi Yochanan understanding Tznuim means if it ain't brave, it can't be done before, it has to be only afterwards. That means they hold you could do something even though it's not in your possession. That argues with what Rabbi Yochanan said. Why? What is Rabbi Yochanan relying on? Our Mishnah. He learns our Mishnah in the Great Machar Ganav. Why not? Because it's considered to be not in your possession. That's how he understands our Mishnah. And Mimela, that's his raya, and that's why we're passing this way. Says the Gemara, if not, Rabbi Yochanan says that the case of Tznuim regarding Neta Revai, the Michal Neta Revai, and Rabbi Doiso, who makes the field hefker in order to allow the anim to take the leket. How about me now? Tznuim isu de Abdoiso. I would say that Tznuim do agree with Abdoiso. Abdoiso lays with the Tznuim. Abdoiso disagrees with Tznuim. Why? Tznuim isu de Abdoiso. If Tznuim agrees with Abdoiso, it makes sense. We talk about a guy who's taking fruits that don't belong to him. Not the Rebbe. He's grabbing onto he's going to a field which is not his possession. And he still do at the corner. You don't say Aliteyu la Rosh Havayamos, like I'm sure Gamliel said. Anim tzichamir, the anim that are making an honest mistake, they're allowed to take from the field. They just take it too much, so of course you do at the corner. Daiso lays the tzruim. This does not agree with tzruim. Anim would have about the kanto, the ganav learned do about the kanto. So not by anim you do it, not by a ganav. A ganav Aliteyu la Rosh Havayamos, going back to that concept. So this first part of the first part was like a really more of a nuance. You said that Rav Doiso and Tznuim were exactly the same. Not exactly the same. Tznuim were a little more, they go a step forward than Rav Doiso. So, but Tznuim is like Rav Doiso, but this not necessarily is like Tznuim. Okay, that's the first error. Omar Rav, I have another. Ilav the Omar Yechanon Tznuim Rav Doiso with the Rechot. If not, Rav Yechanon would say that Tznuim and Rav Doiso all the same thing. How do I mean Mantana Tznuim? I would say, who's Tznuim? What's Tznuim talking about? Tznuim is talking about Neta Revai, right? Ramei. Choose Ramei. Ramei holds, Ramei is a special shita. Ramei is the one who holds that you can do things that are not in your possession. How do we know that? Ramei holds that Meiser doesn't belong to you. Right? Now we learned that in Maseches Kiddushin. That Ramei holds Meiser Sheni doesn't belong to you. Meiser Sheni belongs to Hashem. It's like English. But can you redeem Meiser Sheni? Yes, you could. The person goes and redeems his Meiser. You add a 25%. One in Meiser, so you called it yours. So you add a chimish. So what is the Torah saying? Even though I hold Meiser Sheni is not yours, you still, the Torah gave you the ability to go and to redeem it. So if so, you can say the same thing, but in Terevai. We have the fourth year fruits. You learn Zashov Meiser. That's by the Terevai. So again, the Lashemu Kodesh says Kodesh. When it says about Meiser, the din is after the moment Gavoyu, even though it doesn't belong to you. Lean Bdio Ukrach one of the Torah put it in your possession. Now high Kodesh, also by Kodesh Nami. I think I'll be carrying by. it says regarding Kerevai, even though it's not yours, meaning because someone else stole it. What did Rishus say? Go away and put your Rishus. Why? Now here the question, how you read it, the different Yisrael, we'll just read the Gemara the way it's written by us. Meaning, regarding Ma'aseh Sheni. Ma'aseh Sheni, when it's in your Rishus, it's not really yours. And he still is able to be chalal. That's why by Neter Revai you have a special discussion so you can be mach. But we talk about the case of leket. Then it says when it says Rishus, he can do Efker. He can't be mafker. No, the word is the word is like this. Usually you cannot do anything which is not in your possession. Like Rabbi Yochanan said, you can't do it. You can't be bad. There's something which is not in your Rishus. You learn from the pasuk. You learn from the case of the Mishnah. For you can't do it. So why by tznuim? They're saying it's something which is not in their possession. They'll be able to redeem it. Someone stole. The answer is because Karen Revai, Neter Revai, the fourth year has the same deal like Ma'aseh Sheni. You learn one from each other. Now Ma'aseh Sheni you could redeem it even though it's not yours. The term put it being yours even though it's not yours. So also when Neter Revai, when someone took it, it's not your possession. The term being yours. It's a special because it's something which is not yours becomes yours in these cases. So that's what you could redeem it even though you're not it's not in your possession. Masha'ekin, we're talking about leket. We don't have the exercise custom. So there it needs to be in your Rishus, so you can't be mafkir. So it goes very well. When you can come and say in any other case you can't do it unless it's your possession, except by Neter Revai and Ma'aseh Sheni. Rabbi Yochanan said otherwise, because Rabbi Yochanan said Rabbi Doisa and Tznuim say the same thing. Rabbi Doisa spoke about leket, Tznuim spoke about Neter Revai, and you see the.
Does the Rameir say the same thing? I know we always see Rameir says Ma'aseh long ago. It says the same thing by Neter Revai.
No, I don't think so.
So why do we assume?
We're just
that it's the same status?
We're just assuming once you lose that show of each other, not the same status. Even if it's not in your possession.
I'm saying, but Ma'aser is different. Some Ma'aser we only call it Gavaya. We never call Neter Revai. Never called
Agreed. Right. Right. But I'm trying to think because there's a taste over here. But it's a good time. In other words, you could say that. You could. That's the chiddush of the Gemara. You don't say even though there's Exer Shava, there's different because Ma'aseh Sheni was never yours. Yes, but even though it's not exactly the same, it's not the same equation. You have to come and say that. Okay, so says the Gemara. Says the Gemara. So that's the chiddush. That's what Rebbe just pointed out. The Rebbe is telling us the chiddush that without it I wouldn't say it. Third thing. Now if they said that they say the same thing, I would say the one who said Snuim is of Doisa. Why? Because we have a problem. We just asked the question before. The Pascha is not like Snuim. How does he do that? It's a Mishnah that goes of Shir Gabriel. Like that Shita. So he says, well, no. We will say that Tzruim is a Shitas Yachid called Reb Doisa. And therefore what? Rabbi Yochanan holds we will pass like Stam Mishnah as long as I do not know who it is. But if I know that Stam Mishnah is a Shitas Yachid, I don't pass it that way. At least that's what we will try to taste what to say, that maybe that's not the Maskana. Now we could have said that. So when we had a question of stira, Yochanan says you can't do something down in possession. Shnuim says you could do it in possession. He passes like Stam Mishnah. That is not Stam Mishnah. It's a B'daisa. Hi, it says Stama. Yeah, it's a Stama de Yichidoi. It's a Stama that we know who said it. So Yochanan doesn't pass it that way. That's what I would say. But now that Yochanan said Shnuim v'Rabdoisa with the Echad, he clearly saying that Shnuim is not Rabdoisa. That's why he equates them to say they say the same thing. So you can't say this answer. And Taisa says the maskana could be. He brings two options. One option is to say that Rabbi Yochanan does paskin like stoma, even stoma nechidah. It was just an attempt of the Gemara to answer Rabbi Yochanan. But the Gemara maskana is, and Rabbi Yochanan maybe does paskin like stoma. So we'll stop over here.